Okay, morning everybody. Been talking about this for a week or two, and I finally sat down last night to do it, which is updating the Esper Ketramose control deck. Now, this was an idea we tried a month or two ago, I guess maybe a little bit more than that, which is kind of using Ketramose as your One Ring, as your Jace the Mind Sculptor, as your card advantage shell. And it goes with a lot of the cards you want to play in Blue-White Control, obviously. Leyline Binding, Solitude, and Prismatic Ending all just exile something, draw a card, turning Ketramose into a nice card draw engine, and you also play your relics to help turn your Ketramose into a big attacker or blocker, and obviously these two cards draw a lot of cards together too. This idea was good when we tried it last time. But I even, like, when I was looking back, I was like, what was I was trying, like, a lot of, like, weird experimental stuff in that build. Or maybe not that much, but, like, I had 4 Ocelot Prides in the sideboard, like, seeing, like, ooh, am I going to be able to board these in against combo? I had, I was playing Tune the Narrative Wrath Disguise, which was, like, honestly, that's just very awkward being, like, this in on Relic of Progenitus and Leyline Binding, where you just have, like, you have, like, a lot of one-drops you want to play, like Tune the Narrative, Relic, and then you also have the desire to get a Triome really often for Binding, so I feel like there's a lot of tension there. So we're moved away from that. We're playing Supreme Verdict. And one other big problem was we had kind of a little bit of a lack of card selection, card draw, and so now we're also playing the other Aether Drift card draw spell alongside Ketramose. I don't know if this is the first time anybody's done this. At least it's the first time I've done this. But, like, not only to stock up, smooth things out, it gives you that redundant piece of card advantage, which I think is really important. And, like, you know, it can help you dig for Relic with Ketramose and vice versa. It can help you dig for that critical 0-mana pitch card. It's stock up. It's pretty, you know, at this point in time, and, you know, this is not, I think, knowledge you really had back then, but stock up just now, kind of a modern staple. Sideboard very much cleaned up. Playing a couple Trespassers now on the sideboard, too, for the Flage matchups mostly. Although not the Flage is super bad against us because of Relic, but just a nice card that I've been loving having access to, and a big part of my plans. Nothing too crazy, but I'll say this, that there's been a lot of talk about control lately, and people kind of wishing that there was a good viable control build, and I'm a big believer in trying. Like I think the issue with the control is the top end, right? Like, you have a very good removal suite. You have a very good removal suite between your counter magic and your Leyline Bindings, Prismatic Ending, Solitudes, your access to Wrath Disguise. You have so much sweet interaction, but you don't have very good card draw. And so there's a lot of ways to circumvent this, like getting a lot of wizards, Mulligan the 6-lander. But I think I'm a believer in Ketramose. So we're probably going to go Raugrin Triome. Let's put back probably the Fountain here. Is Logic Knot worthwhile? Not in the Relic build. I'm a big Logic Knot fan in general, but I think it's got too much tension with the Relics. I don't know, what do you think of Subtlety in this kind of deck? So Subtlety is just kind of a metagame call. If there's a lot of Titan and a lot of Neoform, like, those are the two decks I really like Subtlety for. But neither of those matchups are super bad anyways. So, I don't know. It's not a card that I think is very good against Boros. It's a card, I think its card's actually, like, actively bad against Boros. It's a card that I think is mid against Domain Zoo. It's a card that's bad against Prowess, so again, just always gonna be a metagame call for Subtlety. Is Relic my only enabler? Well, I have 12 removal spells that exile to draw a card. Do you count those as enablers? I don't know. So 4 relics. So Arid Mesa, Godless Shrine, Thoughtseize, Ketramose. Did all the VV Dreadhorde builds of Moxfield happen already? We only played 2 of them on stream, I think. There's definitely something there. It's just such a hard freaking deck to build. Is that a good draw? Isn't Ketra only trigger from grave to exile? No, it is whenever one or more cards are put into exile from graveyards and or the battlefield during your turn. Spike seems low number of blue cards for Force. We have 16. That's plenty, right? Is it not 16? Yeah, 16. 16's plenty. Usually you can go as low as like 15. Not that that's a huge difference. Okay, good that they put another card in the yard. Bad. No, don't Thoughtseize me again. No. Maybe we'll get Thoughtseize bugged. Wonder Boy at the 11 months. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, we'll keep our Surveil available. A little bit worried about a Bowmaster. As far as cracking a relic goes, wouldn't be the end of the world. Prismatic Ending. I think I'm going to put that in the graveyard. I think would also be totally okay to draw. I might be enabling my opponent's Ketramose, but I think for the most part, people are kind of off of it. The Inquisition of Kozilek kind of makes me think they're playing Respect the Cat's build, which hasn't been playing it. Just said Frog's the deck. So I did certainly think about including the card Psychic Frog. Right. I have enough Spell Snares and Counterspells to, I think, pop a Relic here. Okay, a Binding. I certainly thought about including Frog. It's very weird to play Psychic Frog and Supreme Verdict in the same deck. And one really nice thing about this build is that Ketramose is freaking indestructible, so you don't care a lot about most creature removal. But Ketramose is indestructible, so you don't care a lot about creature removal. But once you play Psychic Frog, all of a sudden removal is a lot more live, although Frog does dodge a lot of the red stuff, the same stuff Ketramose is dodging. It's also, you know, there is some tension with the relics. That's kind of normal. Do they have an Ephemerate? No Ephemerate. Let's surveil main phase. See what we want to do. If we see like Stock Up or Teferi, we'll pop the Relic. All right, I think we'll just chill. I probably want to keep the Relic in play for top deck Ketramoses if I can afford to. Have I thought about Tifa and Nautilus Nadu? Not really. Like, you know, let's think about it, okay? So if you play Tifa and Nautilus Nadu, when is Tifa going to be good? Tifa will be good when you have multiple Risen Reefs, which trigger landfall like 6 times, 4 times, 5 times to get to 20 damage, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's like, why would you want Tifa to have to be like non-summoning sick in play when you trigger Reef like 4, 5, 6 times? When you like basically never lose a game when you are in a situation where you have that many Risen Reef triggers. So they return to Flickerwisp, but they don't have a 3rd land here. I draw a 6th land. Let's see what we draw off this Relic. Okay, we're saved. Everything's fine now. Yeah, I almost had the 4th stock up over the I almost played the 4th stock up over the 1st Teferi. Not sure what's right. I played against a Living in deck using Overlord's Rumble's Salvage and Bloodbrain Marauder, Bloodthirsty Adversary. Look like a cool idea. We've played against it too. I think it is a cool idea. One thing those builds are like it's weird to say this, right? But it's way weaker to graveyard hate than your like normal Living in builds. Like significantly more weak. Which is interesting, right? Like you your backup plans just I don't think are usually as good as like I'm gonna cast Subtlety, I'm gonna cast Endurance, I'm gonna cast Curator of Mysteries. Cool shirt, thanks. Alright, they're gonna probably grab Witch Enchanter here. They do. We draw a Relic of Progenitus. Could hold the Relic so it doesn't die to Witch Enchanter. I don't know how likely that they would be to exile or destroy this instead of the Binding, but one of the best ways I could get back into this is if I don't have this destroyed and I draw one of my other three Ketramoses that are in the deck. So I think we'll try that. So they play the Witch Enchanter as a land. They've also already used. We've seen 4 of their 5 discard spells, so it's not super likely this gets discarded for that's worth. They play it tapped. That's also interesting. We know they have another Wisp in their hand. There it is. So they're probably going to target the Recruiter of the Guard. Oh, instead they just target the Witch Enchanter. Sure. Did they have played against Combo Goblins look fun? Would you like to take a look? In case you tried it. Wait, you played against it and you have the list? We played a lot of goblins on this channel. There was someone who was even talking up their build pretty hard, but I think I'm okay at the moment. Thank you. All right, let's pop. See if we can find one of our 2 verdicts. Draw a Solitude that we can't quite cast. If my opponent flickers my Solitude with Felia, we're taking 6, 7 plus 4, which is exactly 11. So that is kind of a dangerous line for them to take, flickering the Solitude. I asked for the list because it was the first time I saw something similar. Yeah, Combo Goblins is a pretty old archetype. It's something that, like, I remember when we broke the trophy record for trophies in a season, like, those were, like, our last 3 trophies was Combo Goblins. It's a strategy that is, like, abysmally bad against Boros synergy, like embarrassingly bad. And I try my best to stay away from things in that category these days. Okay, down to game against Black-White. Let's bring in the second Teferi, very good against like Felia and Ephemerate. We want the 3rd verdict, and we definitely want some number of consigns. I think I'm down to Trim of Binding. They're pretty good at dealing with it. I wonder if I could cut all my bindings. It doesn't seem super easy to do that. But if I cut all my bindings, I still have relics as targets, but like they might even bring in like an extra disenchant effect. Attacking there wasn't worth it. I guess we should have attacked. I really did not think they were gonna Felia my Solitude. It's a pretty bold play to make, but it is a play they made. Right. Let's try this. Let's go 1 binding. Weird, but let's try it. Yeah, I remember like I even think so like I had the Ward Instigator Arena of Glory tech like 10 months ago or something like that. And I tested it off stream. I played against Boros twice in a row. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. It's like if they have a Guide of Souls, I think at the time they had Amped Raptor, but like Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, Amped Raptor turn 1, like you just can't even attack through it. It was so embarrassing. I think I want to lead on the Relic here, actually. I guess Plains is weird if I draw exactly Counterspell. But but leading on this makes it harder for them to just like take the Relic and then they get to pick apart these 2. Yeah, Trespasser could be okay. It doesn't like block super well against them. But yeah, this is pretty old tech in general, and it's just like, you know, we definitely play some strategies on this stream that are not particularly good against Boros because you can't just always be good against Boros. But like Goblins is probably like actually like a 25% to win against Boros. It's like truly abysmal. Right, so they have another discard spell probably. Them knowing about this Consign is gonna be kind of bad. Wait, they have Bowmaster? Okay, maybe we just try to counterspell Bowmaster then. Maybe they have Solitude also, but like let's just hold up the counterspell. It's a Felia, so seems probably right to use the counterspell here. It's definitely weird. Maybe it was better to leave the Consign up because if they went Overlord or something, we could like consign the return, but they would get maybe a card out of it. Okay, I guess they just gonna let us Ketramose. So they probably have a a Solitude. They put a Flicker Wisp into their hand here, so if we draw a land, we can play around Solitude so well. Now it seems like we can't, so I think I just gotta jam, tap, and then take my 3 for 1. Because you do get to draw a card when they Solitude your thing. And we really want to draw a land so we can consign the Overlord coming back. So really want to draw an untapped blue source. Tough. Would have been so nice. Consign the Overlord coming back. Just in great shape. Or if we had drawn the land for turn, we could have consigned the Solitude trigger. Interesting they boarded in the Clarion Conqueror. They take a Solitude, okay. Would not have expected Solitude. Okay, so I should have set an upkeep stop. I was thinking that they would fetch for another Surveil land here, unless they had Ephemerate, but I guess I've just given them one more turn maybe to draw the Ephemerate now. If they have like a Witch Enchanter, it's nice that I can consign the ETB. In a current modern, what deck would I play in a big tournament? If I had like a Pro Tour or a RC coming up, I would play Amulet Titan probably. I've been excited to play this Rakdos build we've been working on in the next challenge though. How's my book coming along? I still am about 20,000 words. I've decided to kind of scrap everything I worked on last week because I'm just not very happy with it. But it's coming along. Still working on it every day. What, the Planetary deck? Yeah, that one's in the conversation. I like that deck a lot. I would recommend it as a good tournament deck. It is, kind of inherently a higher variance build. I think you should let them destroy the binding and consign the return trigger. There is no return trigger on Leyline. I think I'm going to cast the Verdict here. I think taking 5 more is just a little too tough. Especially if they have a flash creature like a Felia, the game just kind of ends. Udok, 51 months. Thank you, welcome back. Modern Challenge at 9 today. There's one in like an hour and a half. Ooh. So, pretty dead. Tough to mulligan both games of this matchup. Fun matchup. Could there be a place for the new 5-mana sorcery speed artifact and creature sweeper exclamation point Ultima that ends the turn of this build, using Teferi to cast it on opponent's turn? That isn't tech I've seen anybody try. It's tech that a lot of people do seem kind of excited about. It could be okay. It certainly seems like the kind of thing that's like better in theory than in practice, in my opinion. All right, so the thing is they have a Solitude. So we just take the 3 for 1, and then we gain some life, maybe? Maybe they don't even bother. Yeah, let's pop the Relic. Need to find our own Solitudes. Got a high roll here. Do you snare it? Do you snare Solitude? That card can't be snared, unfortunately. So I find Solitude. What I don't have is a white card. Ugh. So if they Solitude my Ketramose on their turn, I don't get to draw the card. I don't get a white card. Have I seen the Goryo deck with Sin? Like it's an evil Goryo's deck. I've not. Well, I haven't seen it. I'd love to hear about it though. All right, down to match. Or you wanted. So there were no cards in exile for me to play the other Relic. If that's what your suggestion is, to play the other Relic, that's not going to accomplish anything, I think. Which Balatro deck was the hardest to get gold stake with? So that's when I was first doing it, I would have told you black deck for sure. I've actually been like kind of casually, like if I ever just have like mobile game time, which is like when I'm sitting on a couch while Esther's watching a show I'm not interested in, or if I'm like if I'm doing like quad extensions at the gym, I just kind of try to do all 15 gold, all 15 decks gold stake in a row without taking a loss. And if I get a loss, I start over. And my record is 5, which is not that great, but green deck, I think for me, green deck has just been the hardest. I don't know. It's been harder than black deck for me. Hardest of the 22 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, white black is on the uptick, which is nice. Hardest core 22 months. Do I eat or drink soup? A lot of fun questions today. I eat soup. I don't drink it. That's the question. Okay, it could be Belcher, could be Merfolk, could be several decks. Yeah, I think I want to be able to get my other Triome here if I can. Or is this Neoform? No, this is not Neoform. Yeah, I mean, against Surveil, Kaito into the graveyard. Let's just cast a Ketramose here, I think. Double pips in a 3-color deck might make the mana base kind of hard. I guess I don't know what you're asking, but you can play double pip cards in 3-color decks in Modern pretty easy. Every 3-color deck does, almost. Livian? Can this be... I think they're just, like, Murktide with the green splash. No, Plasma deck can be kind of tough gold stake. It like scales really hard at the end, but it's not the worst. Well, I wouldn't have expected that. Let's lead on the Relic here, actually. Okay, so nice. Now we don't care about a subtlety. It's Modern. Your mana's really good. Imagine they have double subtlety here. I think they have a Flare of Denial. Yeah, they do have a Flare of Denial. All right. Yeah, we have another Solitude. Let's just go ahead and pop this. And we do draw the second or the 4th land for the counterspell. So they flared that to deny me from having a card. The answer is they can't win. The real answer is they can't win this game and this game is over. That is the actual answer. 2 fun matchups in a row, though. I don't know why they have Kaito in their deck. Satoru! How I love Satoru. Although I guess it's actually like, why would I ever counter this when I have all of these juicy removal spells? They get a card, that's okay. It's not ending. So they force pitch Oculus. Probably find a Solitude the agent now. They could have like a Birthing Ritual or a Neoform that we could just kind of ignore. Although Neoform is less likely because there's not that many good 4-drops. Satoru was such a cool card. Almost immediately got outshined by Frog getting printed. Yeah, and then Grief being banned was like insanely bad for Satoru. And Basim also is like kind of a better like cost card draw spell, funny enough. All right, let's bring in the second Teferi. I think I probably don't want any of these forces. I think the first Wear Tear for Birthing Ritual is probably getting in there. They're playing Ice Fang, so they're going to have it. Definitely want the Mystical Dispute. First Consign seems fine. Prismatic Ending seems not great. I guess it's good if they have Ritual, but they have Satoru. They probably don't have too many other good targets. I think 2 verdicts is probably a good number. You just don't really want to draw 2 copies early. Let's try this. Hell yeah! Happy you're doing Goryo's. Welcome to the stream. I am very happy to be playing Goryo's Vengeance today. Don't look too closely at the deck. I'm glad that you're happy and hyped. And welcome to the stream. Welcome. Esper Goryo's is our deck today. Esper Goryo's is our deck. Do you think Ultima has merit in a Teferi heavy control list? I'll tell you what, it doesn't have merit anywhere else. And I don't think Teferi's super good at the moment, and I think that Ultima Teferi is kind of like not a very good plan compared to stuff like Wrath the Skies, Tune the Narrative. So you know what I mean? Like one, it doesn't have. That's the only place you could ever consider Ultima. 2, it doesn't exactly seem like a very good plan. It seems like very fun when you pull it off. Athena, hello. Negasaur with the gifted sub. Very happy to be playing Goryo's today. Let's go. Alright, the odds that we use a 1-mana counterspell I think are high enough that I'll just play Basic Island here. Togo with the raid. Hope you're doing well. Welcome everybody from Togo's stream. What'd y'all play today? So we could keep a Snare for Birthing Ritual, but I think this for Oculus is kind of nice. And we do have Prismatic Ending maybe for a Birthing Ritual. So if they go Agent in the Ritual, it's kind of bad. So it looks like they have a Counterspell up to protect the Ritual. I love how Ritual doesn't trigger if there's no creature in play. It's like a really nice quality of life thing. Got a draw step pause. It's interesting. So they left a mana up. They didn't fight over this Prismatic Ending. They could have Spell Snared. They could not have Disputed. I don't think Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm are super likely. Those cards just haven't been popular, but it's possible they have those. They hit a Psychic Frog here. We'll go ahead and Dispute the Frog, I suppose. It does seem like they are very weak to a resolved Ketramose. They might have a Flare of Denial, though. Okay, they're trying to pay costs. So, do they think that they must have Flare in their hand, right? They must have Flare. I might just be okay trading Ketramose for Flare. I don't have a Relic in my hand. And if this dies, then another Birthing Ritual is going to be a lot worse. And then I just have stock up Binding next turn. Yeah, I think I'm okay trading this for a Flare this turn. Oh, okay. Maybe they have Force of Negation. That's right. It's got to be Dispute or Force of Negation because they can't play anything else with the agents. So they're having a Harbinger here, which is bad because I don't have a Solitude or a Basic Plains. I do have a stock up though. What is this? Dismember my Ketramose. Wow. And then they're like undismembering here. They're redismembering. Okay. Poor Ketramose. Dismembered and undismembered over and over and over again here. Alright, so we have 2 Basic Plains and 4 Solitudes to find off the stock up. That's going to be, counting our draw step, 6 and 48. Missed on the draw step, so now 5 and 47. If you're keeping up. Can you really call it a miss if you find another copy of stock up? We could take Spell Snare, which is the 1 castable spell. Our hand is double removal spell afterwards too, so it's like maybe fine. I think I'm gonna take Supreme Verdict, so that way if we find Solitude, we have more of a cleanup button. Everyone knows this is the card I was really trying to hit off the stock up. Oh right, sorry, this is Harbinger of the Seas. I should take a counterspell. I'm a little too blood moon brain sometimes. Yeah, so we could have countered back. That might be just the difference between winning and losing. Thanks for another gifted sub, Negasaur. So we're taking 4 down to 7. So we technically have 1 or 2 more turns to draw something if they have nothing else. Feels like they could easily have a Flare or a Force in their hand. So Solitude could be an out to Force, but not to Flare. Please, 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 please. All right. So I could go to Teferi this turn. I don't think I'm doing the challenge today. It's very tough when it starts at like 11, because then if it goes the whole time, I'm done at like 7 p.m. and then Esther divorces me because I don't spend any time with her. But when it starts on Friday, I'm right underneath that divorce window. Yeah, I feel like going to Fairy Binding is going to be kind of nice here. Put a Delta in their graveyard, replus. We're going to Binding the Shardless Agent, and then Teferi's going to go down to a nice, comfy 4 life points. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Both at me means I'm not going to cast a Binding. This is the problem with being back upstairs. Now Esther can hear everything I say. They have a Kaito. Kaito gets around Teferi, huh? Is Kaito indestructible or just hexproof? Okay, they don't have a Kaito. Or this Teferi stop ninjutsu? As a general rule of thumb, if something is fun, Teferi stops it. And Kaito may not be a good modern card, but Kaito sure is a fun modern card. I know I'm not getting anything from this. I'm sorry about that. Redbeard, the 23 months. Glad to see you in the chat. Welcome back. I hope you have a good work day. It's very yeah, I wasn't sure if the jutsu had like a clause like if you could cast a spell or something like that. So do they have anything that could just kill my Teferi? I think no, so then we probably plus, so we could go minus. Aspiring Spike, as you say, Kaito is fun. Have you ever tried a ninja deck? Of course. I am a Twitch streamer, so of course we played some ninjas. It's like, oh, they hit a Kaito. Every Twitch streamer has played ninjas. Every Twitch streamer has played Battle of Wits. Every modern Twitch streamer also started off as a blue-white control player. Worth waiting to verdict on their turn. Well, what does that play around? Haste creatures? My opponent's being so nice, like, you know, like they're just like never gonna play anything pre-combat. Although it would have been cool to get a Kaito, but then they get to reuse their ETB effect, and we have Binding for Kaito anyways. Right, so they graveyarded a Coiling Oracle, which is surprising. Like, this card seems like I'm at 3 life. It just seems good. I don't know. Let's draw a card. And do you think you play ninjas soon? We are definitely going to play ninjas right after this! And then we'll play your pet deck, and we'll play your pet deck, Athena. We're going to play ninjas! Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. You know what the best ninja is? Ornithopter. And did you play Standard, but check out this cooking? I actually played some Standard last night, and I did not have very much fun, but I don't know. I want to like Standard. It's like, I can't build decks like this, you know? I don't have it in me. I don't like these 3-color Standard mana bases. I don't understand. I barely understand that one Gixis command is good. There seems like there's a million VV piles, which I guess is not that different from Modern. Like, I couldn't. How could I tell you, chatters, that I would know that Jace Reawakened would be a card that you could put into your Modern deck like this? You know I can't do that. Ooh, that's a nice one. You know I can't tell you that Jace Reawakened is what you need. I don't know that. So, yeah, I just don't know that. So I built like a hardened scales list with the Kokobo, and that was pretty fun. But it's gonna be tough for me to ruin Standard, just like it was tough last time. What would you say is the missing piece for Standard to take off? Well, I'm the best one to ask about that. I tell you what. All right, no dispute, please. I don't know. It seems like Standard is taking off. Like, Standard seems, to me at the moment, to be more popular than Modern, although this is possibly because a bunch just changed, so people are trying to get into it, and like a Pro Tour just happened. But I don't know. Actually, I think Standard is just popular, and I don't know. For me, the best Standard format was Return to Ravnica Innistrad Standard. And there was so much magic with that format that I still have a hard time even understanding, like, what was it about RTR Innistrad Standard that was just so good. You may not be asking much my opinion is valued. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I just think a Standard is popular. There have been some like magical Standard formats that just feel great, and it's just so hard to understand, like, what is it that makes just like a really good Standard format really good. I just don't know. It's like there's almost like the real answer, and like I think this is true for Modern too. It's like any format is there is just some kind of intangible goodness that it's just, and you can try to be like metagame shifts, diversity in the format, and it's just like it's just hard to quantify. I don't know. Good mana. Yeah, good mana is an aspect. It's definitely I'm sure it's a lot of little things, and I think a lot of it is also certainly nostalgia. Like, a lot of it has got to be like, this is the format that you started off playing, so you're gonna like it. Damn it! Like, when me and my game design friends daydream about having a super headquarters for our company one day, we talk about having like Return to Ravnica Innistrad Standard decks ready to play. Okay, opponent's dead. Good match. Two good matches in a row. It's hard to keep track of like mentally what's in Standard at any time, maybe. At least for a casual Standard enjoyer like me. Uh-oh. I don't have an answer to that in my hand. That's bad. Wait, do I only have 2 Hallowed Fountains? I think I only have 2 Hallowed Fountains. No, I don't have Snare up. Standard is too big now. That's why we just had a forced rotation. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Like, I think what's funny to me about this whole like Standard rotation discourse or whatever is that it feels like, how do I put this? Like, less time has passed between like decisions for how they manage Standard than like the amount of time it would take for these decisions to actually. So yeah, should have held up the Snare. My bad. It takes like more time for these decisions to like reach their natural lifetime than the amount of times that they change their mind. Like, that might not actually be the case because I don't follow Standard that closely, but that's kind of how it seems. Okay, I can't give them a stock up here. We don't have Watery Grave? Oh, sorry, we do have Watery Grave. How can I forget the Watery Grave? Got me distracted with RTR Innistrad Standard. The Relic of Progenitus. WotC has never been a good steward for constructed formats. We can't say never, right? There's been some good constructed formats. All right, let's keep it moving. In 31 years, 32 years, Wizards of the Coast has never made a good decision. Upvote me! Give me the upvotes! Give me the upvotes! Wizards has never made a good decision! If you want to purge, they were playing Sephiroth. So it's Bombardment, Sephiroth, Flip to Johnny, Filage, Ragavan. I think I want to go down to 2 stock ups. They're doing it to sell packs! They're trying to sell packs! Reddit gold, please. They're trying to make money off of you. Yeah, I'm basically Smog the dragon on my Reddit gold. Let's keep this. What do you think are some of the best design cards in Magic? You know, these questions always lead to like, I think too much on them. I think too much on them. You'd think I'd have a short answer for this, but I don't, unfortunately. I've never played any pre-modern. It's a format that, like, I've said this a lot, and every pre-modern player always goes, no. But I've said this that to me it feels like to play pre-modern, you really need to have a lot of nostalgia for the cards that were legal before 8th edition. And I started playing in Return to Ravnica, so I have like little knowledge and even less nostalgia for these cards in this time. So I don't know. I just don't really think about pre-modern, I guess. Probably will cycle this end of turn if they don't do anything, but it's unlikely they do nothing. Let's go ahead and snare that, but we have a lot of answers for it in our hand. Always an annoying card to play against. Okay, that's a good pickup. The only reason I want to play pre-modern is because there's a broken deck legal like Liontex was. Yeah, you know, I definitely don't want to dissuade anyone who likes pre-modern from playing pre-modern, but it's just not a format I understand, I guess, because it's a little bit before my time. So they have a Bowmaster. They're saying they have a Bowmaster. No turn 1 play, no turn 3 play. You just missed starting to play during the best time in Magic's history. Innistrad, does that haunt you? I feel like Return to Ravnica was the best. I loved Return to Ravnica. I also got to play with all the Innistrad cards. Like, they were still legal in Standard. I remember opening a lot of booster packs, trying to open a Hot Master of the Fells, which was silly because I didn't have any Stomping Grounds or Sacred Founders. All I had were Temple Gardens. Oh, now they graveyard of Flage. Go tapped Godless Shrine. 4 cards in their hand. We're going to draw a land. I could feel it coming in the deck this turn. Ajani. So if they push the cat, we can Solitude the Ajani. You might have liked the original Ravnica. I think for me, like, when I think of Magic lore, it's like Ravnica is just such quintessential Magic the Gathering set. Like, it feels like every other plane is borrowing from... It's like a reference to something. Innistrad, maybe Mirrodin is like also very MTG. Maybe Zendikar is very MTG. But for me, like Ravnica is just that's Magic the Gathering, baby. Everything else is a Universes Beyond. Nice. What's your favorite Magic set, Chatter? What is your favorite Magic the Gathering set? I sure like Magic too. All right, I think I like our sideboard plan. Let's go to game 3. Yeah, poor Esper. Yesterday, I like right as I hit the go live notification, I fell down the stairs. I hurt my leg, but I feel a lot better today. I'm stoked to build Aang Slivers come November. Yeah, the fact that there's an Avatar: The Last Airbender set coming out this year is so sick. It's like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Fuck Final Fantasy. I just want Avatar: The Last Airbender. If they have not Avatar cards, if they're like Universe Within, I'm quitting streaming. I'm gonna become a casual YouTube Shorts guy. I'm going to open booster packs on YouTube Shorts for Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm just going to steal the music from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm going to make millions of dollars. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. If it's the Final Fantasy, why do you keep making these stupid games? I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything. I'm sorry. I retract. I would like to apologize to all the Final Fantasy fans. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. And I just like to say, I'm sorry. I've really grown as a person since I made those comments. Well, boy, do I love energy players that keep a one-land Ragavan hand. There's this guy I do see on YouTube Shorts, and he's playing Expedition 33, and just every short he's like, this is just like Final Fantasy. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother. I watch every single one. Are we allowed to ban people for making the James Cameron joke? I have no idea what the James Cameron joke is, but it seems like it's probably not ban-worthy. As a ocean enthusiast, I have to like James Cameron. I started that octopus book. The one about the intelligent underwater octopus society. I can't remember what it's called. Esther, do you know what the book's called? Stock up! Stock up! Ugh, it's more like stock down. Guess we surveil this turn. We could have taken the Triome to like top deck a binding, but we need a little juice here. So they probably don't have a Guide of Souls in their hand. Oh, no, they flipped the Ajani. Maybe they wouldn't have done that if I wasn't so F6. We do have Prismatic Endings and Leyline Bindings to top deck. I think I should surveil. Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't have black mana. Gosh, I don't have black mana. How did that happen? How did I not notice that? That's so bad. What's my take on the late to dinner and no Ketra build of Esper? I think because we are playing Gorios today, which is what you're talking about. I'm definitely qualified to comment on this, but I think late to dinner is not good. This is maybe a cold take, but it definitely doesn't look very good. You know, I'm having too much fun today. Gotta lock in. But yeah, bottom's Triome. Why don't I have black mana? I just thought for some reason like. My brain, I guess, is like, Triome? Mana perfect. Yeah, I think Rites would be better, or Emperor of Bones would be better. Like, it just doesn't seem like you want 4 mana reanimate a card. Alright, so we get to exile the Flage. This is going to attack our blocker if we draw the land. We don't draw land, but we draw Oblivion Ring. I kind of think your Triumph should be Rafine Katria instead of Raugrin Zagoth. Could you expand on that? Because I feel like my Triumph selection is always like I always feel like I'm missing something. But what do you like about Refreen Katria instead of Raugrin Zagoth? Main deck Rest in Peace, Flage decks are good. Well, we have main deck Relic of Progenitus, so I don't think you need Rest in Peace. Alright, we in there. And every time I mention Goryo's, it seems like Negasaur gives the sub. So Goryo's. They do have a Static Prison, but they've got 2 cards left. They should both be spells. Okay, not the best spell. They got 4 energy still because they cast a Discharge earlier. Well, I guess they're gonna. They might have another Static Prison. They might have another Discharge. They don't. They might have a 3-drop. Let's go. Streaming is easy. They go with 5-pack Negasaur. And no more Goryo's. We'll never play it. So this is 4 damage, putting me down to 4, but then I just gain it right back with the Ketramose, so this isn't the worst. They also did not sack the Static Prison, which is weird. It actually worked. So this is their last card in hand, so they can get a Surveillance. GG. All right. 2-1. Played every match perfectly. Was I surprised about no changes in Modern, given the unhealthy state of the format? I'm not surprised. They said very explicitly, we're not changing anything. Modern is not in a perfect place. Modern has never been in a perfect place. It's been better. It's also been way worse. It's been on a steady tick up. I would even go as far as to boldly declare that Modern is in a good place at the moment. I think Modern is in a good place. It could be better. It could be way worse. It has been way worse very recently. So I've been just trying to enjoy the format, and I've been having a lot of fun. And I encourage you to try to enjoy it too, if that's something you can do. But yeah, I would say I would go as far to agree with Draven, which is not something I do that often. But I would go as far to say Modern is relatively good at the moment. Well, looks like I can tap out. Did you try Memories Returning? Not as good as Stock Up, but 3 for 1, dig 5 deep. Yeah, what is this card? One card I was considering playing was Esper Charm, which did not quite make the cut. Yeah, let's get the One Ring back in there, buddy. I think one thing that would improve is like I do think it would be nice to take Image 3 down a peg still a little bit more. I think it would be nice to unban a few cards. I think it would be nice if gameplay was a little better. It'd be nice if the format was a little slower, but don't want to nitpick too much. Things are pretty good. All right, let's pop one of these main phase, I think. Blue card for Force. Memories Returning. So this is a 4-mana sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put 1 in the hand, and choose an opponent. Oh yeah, the Fact or Fiction minigame. This card is very cool. It is also 4 mana, and that's just like the end of the convo, I think. I think it's way worse than Memory Deluge too, just being a sorcery instead of an instant. And they chose a Pact of Negation here. It's kind of scary. Although I do have this Leyline Binding, so that should help some. I think I'm going to get the Triome. Day 1 Commandeer. That is pretty bad. Well, we see more Red Black Cecil today. So, I was thinking about playing Red Black Cecil again today. Yesterday I spent a long time playing some Standard. And so I was like, if this doesn't go well, maybe I'll just play more Red Black Cecil tomorrow. The thing is, I'm like really locked in on playing that on Saturday. So it's like, did they brick? No, they had another sync, and then they played the sync. So like I know I'm like pretty locked in. Gonna hit a Flare of Denial, so we're probably gonna Verdict here. Oh, do have to draw White Source. Let's see what we draw. If I miss on the White Source, okay, now I could just play Ketramose, but then they Flare. Is that just okay? I don't like it. Let's pop the Relic. If I draw a White Source, I'll Verdict probably, and yeah, now I think we play the Ketramose, and then I think now we're just down to trade it for the Flare if they Flare, and then if they go Belcher, we force, they Pact, or maybe they Flare back, and then we can go Binding with Counterspell up. But yeah, so like maybe I'll also play some Cecil tomorrow. I did change the list a little bit, but I don't really like the idea of playing it 3 days in a week, but it was also a really exciting breakout deck, so I don't know. I'll think about it. Okay, great. So we go Force, Pitch, Verdict. We know they have a Pact of Negation in their hands, and they don't Pact back. Wow. I did not add Night's Whisper. I think it's really cool how Dax build was so similar to my first draft, which did have Night's Whisper, did have Kroxa. I think it shows a lot of his understanding of the format of like how you can build things. That makes sense. But yeah, I felt pretty good about how the build has been performing. You know, we're 10-1 with it, so I decided to not include the Night's Whisper for kind of the same reasons why I didn't include them the first time. So I think we're going to lose the Teferi to these Thundertrap trainers. We could Solitude to protect, but we're just kind of delaying the inevitable. Unironically need a Solitude to play through these anyways. They have a third Belcher. Okay, I'm going to counterspell this trainer because we know they have Pact in their hand. It's like, so like this counterspell isn't protecting us from Belcher because they have the Pact, so we need to stop them from finding the other Belcher. There's a whir? Why are they whirring for Bloom? We know their last card is Pact of Negation, right? Yeah. Unless I just somehow totally have that wrong. I don't think I do. I guess they're just setting up the top deck Tamashi or Belcher, but I feel like being able to whir for a Belcher and like for 2 more mana seems pretty real. Yeah, it does make Tamashi live. Oh, I'm just wrong about their last card. I guess they revealed the Pact and I misread that they didn't put in their hand. Okay. I really thought that they put it in their hand. I guess not. Alright, so let's cut the Verdicts. Let's cut the Prismatic Endings. Cut 1 Leyline Binding. I'm going to go back on the log. Weird game. No, they did put Pact of Negation with Falahi Archaeologist. Oh, they pitched it to Commandeer. Okay, that's what I missed. They pitched it to Commandeer. Okay. That's what I missed, damn it. Was I dead there? Yeah. They can activate the Goblin Char Belcher to kill me. I guess we could have seen what their build was like. So they didn't have Counter Magic. Could their hand be... Could we have Binding the Lotus? We could have Binding the Lotus, yeah. It makes Tamashi really good. The Binding's not doing too much else. But yeah, I think that probably would have been the play. Yeah, I just missed that they pitched it to Commandeer. Sorry about that. Having too much fun today. Is there a better turn 1 in Magic than Flooded Strand Go? Y'all remember the Celestial Colonnade Go memes from back in the day? It was like back when looting was legal, and like it was really regular that someone would people would go like looting on turn 1, and they go turn 2 Goryo Summon Spirit Guide, kill you with Crystal Brand, or they put 12 power to play with on turn 1 with looting, and then some people would just be going Celestial Colonnade Go. It was, and they were happy with it. Standard didn't fire Monday, so I played Modern with Golgari Roots, Vine Lasher, beat Titan and Frog, but I lost to Boros. Nice. I've been kind of thinking about Roots a little bit again. Just, like, why does Wrath Disguise have to ruin all the fun ever? What's the Celestial Colony? What's funny is, like, there is a better blue-white creature land now, the Restless Anchorage, but but if you see any blue-white player in Modern, they're definitely playing Celestial Colonnade and not the new card. Colonnade does still dodge bolt, but the map tokens and the cheaper activation are so nice. Who plays Wrath Disguise? Well, it's like stock in the sideboard of Boros, and also if they commandeer this, you know, that would they're gonna get me. Why do we have to run into the Commandeer gamer? We do have the Binding in the hands. We can't force this. Commandeer is like unbelievably good against us. Bounce my Relic. We could have bounced their lands. They had to do something. These aren't artifact lands. Obviously, they want to commandeer the Teferi, but these aren't artifact lands. These are the MDFCs. So they reveal a Flare of Denial. So if I draw a white card, maybe I Solitude the Trainer. Probably will just cast stock up first. Maybe they would flare this. Maybe they would commandeer this. You win, I think. I mean, with the big Binding and then they flare, you win. You win. Alright, let's keep this on the draw. MK with the 49 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Can I have a deck tech at 50 months? Catch me at 100 months. Or maybe next month. We'll see how I'm feeling. All right, so we lost to Black-White earlier. We did mulligan both times. Very tough to mulligan in that matchup. Excited to get a rematch here. Bolt the Bird with the 23 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Any chance to play the Helga deck anytime soon? We played it in the Showcase Challenge. We ran kind of bad. I do like that deck a lot. I think it's pretty good and underplayed. I do recommend it. I don't necessarily see myself playing it on stream anytime soon because there's just like a lot to get to. I want to like Standard, but I don't know. Can I learn to love Standard, or will it just happen naturally? What about for 6 years? I'll let you know, Evan. We're so dead. They get a Flicker Wisp. This is a little annoying. Gonna get a Raugrin Triome. Oh wait, sorry. Probably should have got Zagoth because of Ketramose. Guess we just get the other Triome now. Why Standard? Well, I mean, 7 cards got banned, so it's like a brand new format. I liked Standard when I played it recently, and I don't know. I'm a Magic streamer. It's kind of nice to play other formats sometimes. Yeah, but I don't think I do anything if they Flicker Wisp. We just probably set up to try to draw a land for Verdict. I do think I'm going to just try to cut all my bindings post-board against them. Okay, well, that's a little bit more annoying. So right now is going to be Domain, Oculus, and Unholy Annex decks. Domain is still alive with Beans being banned? Oh yeah, Cube is up. Maybe we'll play some Cube too. I don't know. I do like playing Cube. They take one of my 2 Solitudes. And they say, this Recruit of the Guard, that is enough pressure. They probably have a Fel, yeah. Yeah, I did play some Standard yesterday. I didn't really have very much fun. I don't know. It just feels like there are a lot less decisions to make. Yeah, I didn't play a lot of different decks because I was also playing on Arena. Because like this is also the frustrating thing about me trying to get into Standard, and this is what happened last time. And I ended up not bothering with this, and I probably should have because I just played on Magic Online. But I think it just is better to play Standard on Arena. That is where the Standard players are. That's where people care about Standard. The MTGO leagues on Standard are not very good. They're pretty slow queue times. You run into the same players over and over and over and over again. And so but for me to get into Standard, it costs me like hundreds of dollars to buy all these stupid wild cards because I don't grind Arena. And then I have to be able to build a lot of decks, so I have like a nice diversity of things to do. And then I have to spend like a lot of time getting out of Bronze because I don't play Arena either. So like it's a lot of time to get out of Bronze, or not out of Bronze, but just like into like the higher tiers where people actually care about watching. Because nobody cares to watch people grind out of like the lowest ranks, I think. So. It's just a pain to. I don't know why they didn't take this verdict. It's just a pain to have to spend all this extra time and money for what is ultimately probably just not as interesting content, anyways. But I think I like using an ending this turn. You don't lose any ring to go rank. Yeah, but it's still like how long does it take? Like 10 hours. Just like matches of Magic take a long time, and you have to win what, like 30 matches to get into gold, just like, and then that's not even counting the ones you lose. I've never grinded and I've hit mythic many times. Well, I mean, like, okay, let's talk about how many hours does it take? How many match wins does it take to go from Bronze to Mythic? Like, it's got to be like 12 hours or something like that, right? A few hours from Bronze, Plat probably not that long. Wasn't it like Bronze, Silver, Plat, Gold, Mythic? Like 10, 12 hours of straight playing with above average win rate. Yeah, and like it's not like that's hard, but it is very time consuming. Like I have a lot going on, and okay, I want to be able to binding the Fella. You want to be able to binding non-ETB effects, and this is like the only non-ETB effect. I guess that too. Yeah, I think it's just double binding here. Target the Emperor first, because if they have Ephemerate, I want to be able to get this. Maybe I'll... Okay, Fatal Push their own Emperor Bones, okay. Maybe you could subcontract the Ladder Binding. The thing is, like, if it, that is against TOS, I think it's bad to fuck around with that, and... like lose my ability to stream Magic the Gathering too. You need 2 wins for rank. No, it's like I think you need 16 wins to get out of each individual, like out of Bronze, right? Why binding the Felia? Okay, so they have like Witch Enchanter and they have Flicker Wisp. So like my bindings suck in this matchup, as we found out in round 1, because all their stuff has ETB effects, and they're really good at getting rid. They're really good at getting rid of the bindings. So you want to target Felia and Emperor of Bones if you can, because those are the things that they don't get value on when they binding. So, even though we have a higher value, we have a 2-for-1 in our hand. It's just good to like target the one good thing that's good to binding. Do I like the designs of Emperor and Felia? They seem like fine MH3 design cards. Yeah, those are good ones, I think. Kind of simply, like, I really like Magic cards that are powerful but easy to counter if you want to be if you want to be good against them. And these like 2-mana 2/2s are definitely easy to be really good against. In Bronze and Silver, you go up 2 for each win and go down 1 for each loss. And it's 1 up, 1 down. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, so like I don't know that I'm going to be getting into Standard. I'm tentatively interested and tentatively interested. All right, so up a game this time. Yeah, so let's try the full play set of Consigns. I'm gonna go pee real quick too.
It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Okay, on the draw for game 2 against Orzhov. What matchup do you bring in the creature in the board for? Boros and Domain Zoo mostly, which I think are just enough of the format to want that kind of card, but might not be. Please don't play Recruiter of the Guard. Anything but that. So if they have a Bowmaster, me tapping out for Teferi is worse, but if they have a Felia, it's pretty good. I think I'm going to keep this Solitude. It could be a little greedy, but we do have the Teferi and both Relics to try to cycle to hit land drops. So again, Bowmaster's bad, Felia good. Aven Interrupter, okay, I guess. Steve with the Twitch Prime, thank you so much. And Weecher with the 30 months, glad you're still liking the stream. Get back to work! Just kidding, watch the stream. Alright, take it to. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to force myself to like Standard if I don't like it, but I don't know, like it would be cool like if I could just play a different format. Sometimes, and that's something we did when I was just so sick of MH3 Modern, and maybe it's something we'll do again, but stuck up. But Modern's fun right now. Cube just came out, and I didn't really enjoy my first off-stream Standard day, so we'll see what happens. They got a Witch Enchant, which they played, right? You're like, the last good Modern stream, we can't lose you. Well, I sure think I'll play some more Modern, but there are plenty of other good Modern streamers too. Don't flatter me. But I'll play more Modern too, but I don't know. I want to keep my mind open. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I might play another Legacy Showcase with Ant. Legacy is different for me too, because it's like a lot of you probably don't know this. I was exclusively a Legacy player for like a couple years. I loved Legacy. It was just I felt like gameplay was so good, deck building was so interesting, and just a lot of the elements from Legacy that I really liked aren't really there anymore. And okay, they're gonna get to kill my Relic, I guess. Just a lot of the elements of the old Legacy is just gone, and I really dislike that there are a lot of cards in the format that are designed for multiplayer. I tend to just think that like the Monarch and the Initiative cards, they really do just make me not like actively uninterested in Legacy just compared to how it used to be. But, you know, maybe one day. How do you feel about 45% of the meta being 2 decks and Wizards saying it's fine? That sounds bad. Please like and subscribe. How do you feel about comments that say, Spike, can you agree with me real quick? Is that Legacy? I don't know if that's Legacy. I don't even know what format you're talking about. No, they ignore Teferi. How do you feel about Vintage? I think Vintage is cool. I can never let this resolve. It's Legacy, Oops, and Reanimator are out of hand, I see him. That sounds bad. I think I'm going to go and get a Hallowed Fountain here. Let's go. Obviously, insane draw. So I think I really care about being able to bounce this Solitude with Teferi, so let's plan to exile the Flicker Wisp instead here. Oops is 4%, there's only one deck over 7. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Legacy. It just feels like an old love that I no longer love. They get another copy of Emperor. Dude, they hate Teferi. They think this card sucks. So maybe I do not want to block this Recruiter because they have another Emperor in their hand, right? Do I Solitude this turn though? Dude, imagine if they Solitude back here. Thankfully, we got the stock up. So they pitched a Felly. Their hand is Emperor of Bones Mystery card. Yeah, I think I just take Solitude stock up. We could take a hit here, even if they Emperor Bones the other one. Come on! We might have to play a game 3. Could have played around Solitude really well by stock upping first. Oh no, I wouldn't have had enough mana. Right. So we're getting hit for 5 down to 7. We have 3 Supreme Verdicts still in our deck, and we just bottomed like 6 non-Supreme Verdict cards. So it's like 3 and 28 to draw one. We do only have 2 Solitudes left. Those would also be really nice, of course. Ketramose would be okay because you could protect it. Someone yesterday said, I don't know if I've ever cycled a Zagoth Triome or a Triome in one. We'll see if we can change that today. Now they know I have Consign in my hand from the Thoughtseize, so it's not like they're just going to super duper play into this, maybe. There's even a pretty reasonable chance that their last card is another copy of Solitude, although they neither have the white card to pitch or the 5th land, but they do also get to draw an extra card every turn. So they start off with an Overlord. We can't consign this trigger because we need to save it for the Emperor. They hit a Solitude, a Clarion Conquer, and a Flick-Wisp. They return Solitude to their hand, possibly further confirming the suspicions of their hand being 2 Solitudes. Then they adapt the Emperor Bones. This is an activated ability, so we can't consign, but what we can consign is the triggered ability from the counter being put on the Emperor. Now I think my opponent is going to Solitude my Ketramose, which will put me up to 11, and then it'll put me back down to 3 after the attack. So doing our best. Might have to go to game 3. We'll see. Does another Ketramose save me? Yeah. So Ketramose, Solitude, Supreme Verdict, or maybe a Teferi, maybe not a Teferi. All right, game 3. Like our sideboard plan, like not playing any bindings against them. Let's win. There maybe is some, this is so minor, but I could have fetched a Triome on one of the turns, which I just wonder if I telegraph too hard that I have no bindings in my deck. 2 stock ups and no verdict, yeah. So unironically, I kind of want to cut the main deck Teferi for another stock up. I know I'm like goofing around going every time I draw it, but the stock ups have been like really, really sick, and feels like I'd just kind of rather have the 4th over the first Teferi. Not the biggest deal. Okay, we're on the play for game 3 against a black-white. My opponent is deep in the tank on their mulligan decision here. Anyone remember Archmage's Charm? You know, I've been kind of thinking Archmage's Charm might be kind of okay. Can't really play it in this deck with the mana. Do not get a Surveillant. Do not get a Surveillant. Get Zagoth Triome. Zagoth Triome. They graveyard a Flicker-Wisp, which they would do if they had an Overlord. I miss when you played Typhoon. I miss when Typhoon was playable. Boy, that card sucks. So this is good against Felia. Worse against Bowmaster, of course. I might just Solitude the Bowmaster, then like bounce the token if they have the Bowmaster. Why Saga instead of Surveil? I assume you mean why Triome instead of Surveil? Yeah, it's because we need black mana. Not playing a black Surveil land. So there's an Overlord. The Flicker-Wisp in the yard, kind of a problemo. They might need a 3rd land, so they might like be like, oh, I wish I could take the Wisp for the Overlord, but I gotta take this Enchanter. That seems like that's what's happening. So it's a Teferi like a Dothraki on an open field. Yeah, let's just play Relic, I think. Well, nah, if they Solitude the Ketramose, we just take the 2-for-1. Especially because like they may be like really incentivized to cast a Flicker-Wisp here if they have it. I mean, I guess they could have both, but kind of like waiting till next turn, letting Ketramose see the Solitude Exile. Yeah, it's just like I think you just take the 2-for-1, so you don't have to have like the most mana inefficient turn ever. Okay, they do have the Solitude. I'm not planning on playing the challenge in 10 minutes. No, it just starts a little too late. I'll play the one on Friday for sure, and then maybe Saturday, but... Oh, no, I can't do Saturday, I think. Depends on what time I'm meeting up with some people. I'll get back to you. All right, they pitched Ophelia. They've got 5 cards in their hand. They are -1 Wisp. Hopefully they don't have any more. They're thinking. They might have a Recruiter of the Guard if they're thinking this much. Interesting. So I'm definitely going to have to Solitude in response to the activation. I think it's going to have to be pitching a Solitude. Only having 1 of these left in the deck is like a tiny bit scary, but good that we can do this. Good that we can get this up to 3. You'll play on the 4th. So I've got like plans in the evening. I think we cycle this to try to hit a land. I have plans in the evening, but they may get pushed up. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming on Friday for sure. Okay, her hand is thankfully a little redundant, I guess. Shell with the 12 months. Thank you, welcome back. They take the verdict. Why do their hand is Thoughtseize Wisp? That's so bad for me. Shell with the 1 year. Thank you so much. We did just pop the so they have like less options. Okay, they mill 4 options here. They choose Emperor of Bones, of course. I gotta keep that, I guess. Is Lotus Field playable in blue-white? We have played some blue-white Lotus Field not that long ago. You can play it, yeah. So we know their hand is Emperor of Bones. If their other 2 cards are Solitude white card, good for them. Okay. Still in there. Two of their mystery cards should be spells because they've been missing land drops. Kind of nuts to draw the 4th Solitude. I didn't even like really process that. They exile my Supreme Verdict, which is interesting. Makes me think they have a Felia. Yeah, I've got to get rid of the Emperor, I think. The Felia is scary, but the Emperor is scarier. I want to do it while they're tapped out, so they don't get this underneath, and then they can double adapted response. Interesting. Interesting that they play that also. The last card is a spell. I'm having a hard time trying to ascertain what that spell is. Let's snap off this block. They're going to get an extra Surveil if they stack their triggers correctly. Otherwise, they'll stop me from having a land on my turn. Okay. Yeah, I think this is worse, too, because it opens up Supreme Verdicts. Just play the Relic and pass. Probably not going to consign the return trigger here. If I made an altar of Lava Spike with a picture of beaded lava, would I sign it? Yeah, if I ever see it, I will. They put Plains in the yard off the Surveil. They do have a spell in their hand because they've been missing land drops, I think. Although maybe that's not the case because of the Witch Enchanter like coming down when it did. Kind of hard to say. I'm taking 6 down to 9, so I don't have a lot of time. I think I got enough time to consign that. So we have no Solitudes left. We need to draw a Ketramose or a Supreme Verdict. Or, Prismatic Ending wouldn't be the worst, and that is the one we find. So now we have a 3-turn clock to work with. The thing is, Ketramose has to be drawn within the next 2 draw steps if that's going to be our out. It's a really solid out, though, with our hand being double Counterspell. So I'm taking 4 down to 5. And then they pass. They may have a Solitude. We do draw Ketramose. Very exciting game. So we may get to Counterspell a Solitude. And then be shields down. They also may not have a Solitude, but... we'll see. One big question mark is, would I counterspell the card Orcish Bowmaster here? Probably have to. Okay, I'm dead on board to that, so... easy mode, no choice. They've got 1 card left. It's not another Felia. I've pressed the F6 button. It all comes down to this. Overlord. They mill an Emperor of Bones in addition to the Felia. So if their last card is an untapped land, we're dead on board. It is an untapped land and we're dead. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. So lost twice to Orzhov. Maybe that's not too unexpected. Let's pivot over to updated Aerith combo. This is a deck that kind of flew a little bit under the radar because we played the first draft